What do you think, Cam? We got Cam buckled up.
I think it's pretty cool.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, you are watching TWA Motorsports, and today, here's what we got going on. My painter called me. This was unexpected, okay? Obviously, we got the lift installed recently. We've got some stuff moved out. We sold a couple things, but my painter has called me and said, can you have this to me in a few days? And I am so not ready. Guys, remember I originally said we were just gonna paint the doors, get it all back together and sell it. Well, now we've kind of decided to paint the whole thing. And look, when a painter's ready, you gotta go, okay? So what that means is we're gonna have to do some stuff. For one, I'm gonna have to pull this thing forward, all right? I've gotta get all this crap out of the bed that I put in here for storage purposes, right? Remember, when we took all the doors and the door components apart, I started like putting stuff in the bed. I've got stuff back here. I've got to get the bed back off this thing. The bed's already painted. And like I said, I paint corrected the rest of it, but he's going to paint this entire thing. He's going to shave the third brake light. I've got this door jamb crap to clean. I've got to get the cowl off. Probably going to have to go ahead and pull this inner piece of trim off, because he's going to be painting the jam as well. The rubber crap, I got a lot to do, and I don't have a lot of time to do it. I got to get those shims. I got to mark those where they go. So anyway, I've got to pull this thing forward. I'm going to see if I can get my dad and Cohen, myself, and possibly my neighbor out here to lift that bed off. We're going to have to rig up a way to put it because my painter let me use his bed dolly before. I don't have that now. He's actually painting the bed. So we've got our work cut out for us. So we're going to start by, I think I'm going to hook the battery up. I think it's charged, or at least I hope. And we're going to pull this thing forward. We're going to start unloading some crap out of the back. Well, it's dead, like real dead. But I was able to jump it. Got a little bit of a trans leak. That sucks. Got some bullet hole stickers here. Don't know where those came from. Lucky me. Anyway, got the bed cleaned out. Next, I'm gonna attempt to try to take the tailgate off, I think, and try to get it over here. I've got everything kind of laid out on a blanket. Now look, once we get the bed lifted off and put where I think I'm gonna put it, I think we'll be able to put the stuff all back in the bed. So this will just be temporary. I don't want to leave this stuff here, but I've got one here. I've got one there. I need to get the bumper off. I need to get the tailgate off. I don't necessarily have to take the tailgate off, but believe me guys, when you're lifting something, it makes it a lot easier to lift when you have less weight, okay? Now the goal is to hopefully unplug the taillights and then thread that through. I'm also hoping that these aren't like these, and the fact that you have to lift the bed to get the bumper off. For some reason, I don't think they are, but we're gonna have to get under there and see. I figured this would be the case. You have to lift the bed up to get the bumper in. No way around it, unless you take the brackets loose. I'm not gonna do that. I got it pretty squared up, so I don't mess with that. I've already unplugged everything. I just got to get the bolts that go to the bracket. I'm gonna leave the last bolt that comes in from the bottom, and then what I'm gonna do is loosen the bed, and I will lift it up a little bit with like a wooden block. We only need it to come up like maybe 2 inches. I think I've got enough room to do that. We'll really be really careful watching the cab gap here. We don't want to hit the cab, obviously, with the fresh painted bed. So we'll lift it up just a little bit to clear, and we should be able to pull the bumper straight out, go put it over here on my, with all my other stuff. So you can see it's pretty close, but we've got room. I've got it up high enough where we will now clear the brackets. I don't know why GM put those cuts in there, but yet they don't do anything. So we should be able, now that we've got that accomplished, I'll take out the lower 2 bolts. I have 2 bolts remaining, like the very 2 end ones, and we should be able to get it out of there. Bingo. The cool thing is, it's got enough clamp that it stays in place. You don't have to worry about falling out and hitting you in the face, so it can be a one-man job. And it was. Now that we've got that accomplished, the bed's completely unbolted. I've got all 8 bolts out. We'll slowly set this guy back down. And now, guys, I need some help. I need either, I don't even want to try doing this with my cherry picker. I want to have, I'm going to try to set up some cinder blocks back here and some 4x4 posts. Try to line it up with kind of where the frame rails are, to be honest with you. And it'll be just essentially like setting it on wooden frame rails back here. I'll kind of show you once I get it set up. Now, while I wait for reinforcements, I can go ahead and pull some other stuff off. I feel like I got that off on the other side. Yeah, or maybe it just disintegrated, I don't know. But I need to take the cowl off. I already got the wiper arms off. I took those off a long time ago. The outer cowl I've already got off, as you can see, and I've just kind of set some bolts up here. These are actually for the battery tray, so I need to make a box for that. I don't remember what that was for. Probably the power antenna or a ground over here on the passenger side fender. So yeah, I need to go through and get this stuff off, which needs a good cleanup. Actually, that's broken. Need a new one of those. So we'll just see as I take this off. These just look like Phillips, so should be pretty easy. Well, not too bad, honestly. Series of just Phillips, really. All the way across the cowl, you've got these pieces of rubber or plastic that they kind of cinch in. Guys, I think if I can find a new set of those, I'll probably replace them because they're rough. But I think I've got a majority of everything off that I need. So I've got reinforcements coming to help lift the bed off. I took the shims out. Make sure you mark your shims. Like I had one thick one here on the driver's side. I had a thick and a thin one on the passenger side. I marked that in the bag. But I've got a lot of cleaning, like vacuuming and getting debris out, because here's the situation. We're gonna have the glass pulled because that's the best way to paint stuff, and you can get in these areas where they're kind of starting to surface rust. You can get all that fixed, and to be honest, it's just a better paint job. We're gonna have the back glass taken out. I guess I'm gonna have to take that third brake light out too now that I think about it. We're gonna get the bed off. Once the bed's off and over there and I can start putting stuff back in it again, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this rubber trim off. I got the pillars out. I'm gonna pull the rubber trim off, pull the third brake light out, and then it's on to cleaning. But anyway, he's gonna be painting basically here, cab, back. Filling the third brake light, like I said. I think there's a couple holes. Somebody had some boom boom speakers in here at some point, I would imagine. I'm not painting the floor. The floor's in good shape. I pulled the carpet back to look, so no issues there. And this truck isn't a rusty truck, so the rockers are even good, the cab corners are good. And if he gets in it and finds out that they're not, then obviously that'll open another can of worms. But I don't think we're gonna have that issue. A little bit of surface rust from the paint being chipped, but anyway, that's kind of where we're at right now. So as you can see, the bed is off. I didn't show you guys, I didn't set it up on the tripod, but 8 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side. Lifted it off. And you can see I've moved the tailgate under here. I filled the bed back up with all the stuff that was in the floor. Now it's time to clean. Okay. The other thing I want to do though is I got to take this rubber out, which actually, it's not in stellar shape. I'm going to keep it until I figure out what I'm going to do. This truck's going to cost a fortune. This one doesn't look too bad. Anyway, I'm going to pull that rubber out, and that'll give me ability to grab the vacuum over here. You can see I've kind of got the shop in a little bit of a disarray. I had to move the green truck kind of over, poke the dually in, kind of weird because all that stuff was right here in the floor. But I think we're good now. Obviously this is going to disappear in the next day or two, so hopefully once that's out of the way, we'll have the bed there and we'll be able to kind of get things repositioned back where they actually go. But for now, let me get these rubber pieces out and let's start the cleaning process. No big surprise here. I tried to sneak the rubber out from around this. I guess this goes in before the dash goes in. there's no real getting to it. I mean, I've got it broken off on both sides. I don't really know what else you do other than pull the dash out to get that piece of trim out. That is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I can see a clip right back here and it goes in, so there's an extension on both sides, but I don't necessarily know that a guy can get it out. I'm gonna shine a flashlight on the other side and see, but wow, I'll be able to get another one of those. That's not a problem. First thing I did was vacuumed all the big stuff off on this side. You can see I haven't got to that side yet, but before I get this wet, guys, a lot of times when you get something like this wet, it just turns to absolute mud and you have a terrible time getting it off. So I'm gonna turn the vacuum back on and we're gonna vacuum this while I'm using a dry brush method, okay? That's gonna kind of unstick some of this stuff and vacuum it up as I go. That'll just give me it'll give me a longer working time with the rags that I'm gonna be using, if that makes sense. So it's dust at that point instead of mud and tougher stuff to get off. Now look, that did okay. Got some of the bigger stuff off, but it's really caked in there. So. All right, now on to the, I guess we're probably gonna use some super clean or some sort of all-purpose cleaner, maybe some mean green or something, and this brush to kind of agitate, and then probably 80 microfibers. We're gonna start here. We're gonna work our way down here, the easiest spots first, and then we'll address the cowl next. Just a little tip when you're doing stuff like this, if you start with a pretty nasty towel, you don't have to get a brand new one that's clean, all nasty. You can see it's not going to take a ton of work, maybe a couple passes, but this is just way less work for my painter to have to do, because he's going to have to, obviously he's going to be sanding these areas since he's going to be painting it. The glass is going to be out. He'll have some more area to kind of knock down, but you can see what I'm talking about, how nasty that towel gets. So if you use a brand new towel, even though we're kind of smearing stuff with a dirty one, we'll come back and go over it a second time with the clean one. Oh, it's cleaning up good. Yeah, that's gonna work. This area right here is gonna be probably the hardest. Look how good it looks with just one pass. I'm over here to this part. One of the things I want to do though, I've got new door pins. Obviously these were wrecked. Bushings are trashed. These are actually still together at least, but I'm going to pull those out. Actually, I'm going to punch those out. Let me go get my punch. We'll get those out of the way. And then probably what I'll have him do is just pull this back. Oh, it's so nasty. Okay, maybe I'll pull that back and go ahead and clean the rubber boot, and maybe he can kind of stuff it in there. I don't know. Oh, there's a plug. I'll tell you what, if there's 2 plugs, we may just take that sucker off completely. I think we will. There's actually 3 plugs, at least on this side, which is awesome because I was going to kind of zip tie this crap up because I'm driving it out to his house. Like I said, he's relatively close, and I think we can make it out there. If not, then we got a trailer, but this will keep this crap out of his way. I want you to see the difference. Check this out from side to side and then halfway across the cowl versus what I haven't touched. So much better. So what he's going to do is he's going to tape off the cowl and paint the cowl, cab, rockers, all the way under, whole back of the truck, obviously with the glass out. We're going to be, I bought this, which shaves the rear brake light. It comes with pre-cut and pre-bent metal, so I gotta leave that in here so I don't forget to take it to him. But anyway, I wanted to show you kind of a before and after, and it's just simple green and a rag and a vacuum. I'm using a brush in some of the spots, but definitely looking good. Well, after maybe an hour's worth of work, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Actually, we got both sides knocked out. You can see the scratches and whatnot that we're going to be fixing. Yeah, it's gonna look good. It's gonna look good, guys. Got both sides knocked out. So the last thing that I need to do to get this thing ready is I'm gonna go ahead and take our brand new, remember we just installed this, and I'm not a big fan of it because Nobody really makes a stock one, and these things they just sit weird. They don't sit quite as nice as the MBS ones. They kind of conform to the truck. Although if I had it to do over, there's two things I would have done on my green truck. I would have shaved that, and I would have shaved the stake pockets. But what's done is done. I'm not going to repaint it just because of that. But I think these are just Phillips. They are. Let's get these guys out of here and finish this thing up and get it ready to go, whether it's on a trailer or we actually drive it. Gonna have to get those inserts out, but you can see why there's just an oval and two circles that come with that kit. I'll try to find where I got that. Guys, I've had that for a minute, and listed in the description down below, but that's all we need to get accomplished right now. It's our maiden voyage out to the painter's house with this thing. Hopefully nothing falls off. Cam's rocking with me. It's really easy to get in and out of without any
outdoors.
Without doors, yeah. So Cohen's gonna follow me to pick me up. Like I said, my painter's not like ridiculously far away from me, so it's not like this is crazy. Yeah, maybe it's a little crazy.
I mean, with outdoors, it's quite crazy.
Cam thinks it's pretty crazy with outdoors, but
I like it because you don't have to.
I still haven't got this thing aligned since I dropped it, so it's scrubbing a little, and it smells freaking hot. But I think that's mainly because we had to jump it. It was dead because with the doors off, these things don't work. Either way, we're gonna give it a shot. Look, we got a trailer. If we get stranded, we'll pull over and we'll let you guys know. But this is gonna kind of be our view here for the drive out there. What do you think?
No seatbelts.
Yeah, you got a seatbelt. We'll get it buckled here. It's weird because the buzzer's on because we have no doors. Thinks the door's open. This is. What do you think, Cam? We got Cam buckled up.
I mean, I think it's pretty cool.
He thinks we should leave it like this.
No, I think we should put maybe like a turbo in it.
A turbo with no doors. That'd be great.